This is James Spencer from Spencer Music and Artist Development. This class is the history of film composers and actually television composers as well. And so we're on our fourth week and we have looked at the music of Max Steiner, Franz Waxman, and Harold Arlen. Now we're going to move ahead. I'm doing these sort of out of order, just as they come to me. And we're going to look at the music of one of my favorite composers from my childhood in the early 70s, and that's Charles Fox. Charles Fox is a film composer who did over 100 films. He is a pop song composer, and he's mostly associated with the late 60s and early 70s. His style is very easy listening pop, very happy-go-lucky. Charles Ira Fox was born October 30th, 1940 in New York City, and he's still currently alive. He's 76 years old now, or so, somewhere in there. Anyway, let's get into a little bit about him. Again, he was born in New York, son of Jewish immigrants that had moved from Poland. And he went to the High School of Music and the Arts and studied jazz piano in New York. And then he went and continued his musical education under Nadia Boulanger, first at Fontainebleau, and then privately in Paris for a while. So then when he came back to the States, he studied electronic music with Vladimir Ushevsky at Columbia University. He married Joan Susan Redman on the 9th of September in '62. Looking at his career, he is mostly associated with writing theme songs and music for television shows. And he wrote for a lot of game shows that were becoming popular. He wrote the theme song for Match Game, the theme song for What's My Line, the theme song to Tell the Truth. And then he went on to write music for Skitch Henderson for the Tonight Show Orchestra. And then he's mostly associated with television of the 70s. So specifically, he works for Sid and Marty Krofft, who used to do children's shows when I was a kid. And he wrote the music for Puff and Stuff, which also became a motion picture, and wrote the whole score for that musical movie, Puff and Stuff. And that was 1970. That starred Jack Wilde. It had Martha Ray in that. It had, actually, Mama Cass makes an appearance in that movie as well, from The Mamas and the Papas. And that's one of his most noted television shows as well as movies, is Puff and Stuff. And he would also write for some other shows for Sid and Marty Krofft, specifically The Bugaloos. That was a very famous children's television show. The other big television show he would write for, which also has this sort of optimistic love, kind of Carpenter's feel, was Love American Style. He would write the music for that television show, which did very, very well, and he actually won awards for that. His most famous song that he wrote was in '72, was Killing Me Softly with his song, which he wrote, which became a #1 hit for Roberta Flack in '73. It would also be recorded later and redone in '97 by Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, and the song won the Grammy for, Best Song. Here's just a couple of other television shows he scored for, and there are just so many, to get into, but he did Happy Days, he did Laverne and Shirley, he did the television show Angie, which had the song Different Worlds, which was sung by Maureen McGovern. He did the music for The Paper Chase, which had the song First Years, that was sung by Seals and Croft. He wrote the theme to Wonder Woman. He wrote the theme to Love Boat with Paul Williams, that would be sung on that show by Jack Jones. He co-wrote with Dionne Warwick Together Through the Years, which was the theme song to the Hogan family. And that television show theme song was sung by Roberta Flack. Um, okay, so that's pretty much the main thing with the television. There's a few movies you do want to know that are associated with, again, Charles Fox. One being sort of the kind of kitschy sci-fi hit for Jane Fonda called Barbarella, and that was his score. We already talked about Puffin Stuff in 1970. Oh, by the way, Barbarella was 1968. There's so many movies he did. I'm kind of gonna pull up a few that are important. One was The Last American Hero, 1973. He did The Other Side of the Mountain, 1975, which he won Best Song of the Year for, called Richard's Window. He did the score to Foul Play in 1978, winning the Oscar and or I should say he was Oscar and Golden Globe nominated for Best Score for that. And he did the score to 9 to 5, which became a hit movie for Dolly Parton. He did the score for The Gods Must Be Crazy, and anyway, that's just a little bit. The main movies I want you guys to know is the children's movie Puffin Stuff, 1970, and I want you to know Barbarella, and I want you to know some of the television shows that he did, specifically the theme song to Love Boat, Wonder Woman, some of the ones I just talked about. That's all you need to know. Okay, thanks for joining me.